We're on the other side of the car. We do exactly the same thing. It's just a mirror image because instead of the caliper being on my right-hand side, as it is when you're on the right side of the car as you're sitting, it's now on the left side. And you can take the bolt out. Just make sure you have something to hold that caliper so it's not hanging off the brake line. One's out. Top one's not being so cooperative. There she comes. Number 2. So now we're ready to slide off the caliper. But in order to get that caliper off, we gotta stick our prying tool, which is a screwdriver, and get this spring. So basically what I did is you go underneath the bottom spring, not the top one, the bottom spring, and just twist it out. It'll curl back, out of the way, and your caliper should come out. And again, I already have my bungee cord pre-mounted on my strut so that I can grab a hold and take the stress off the brake line. Rotor is ready to come off since we're going to do everything in pairs. You know, pads in pairs, rotors in pairs. Never do a single. Now, actually going to the caliper, and we're going to pull off, again, the pad on the outside, and that should come fairly easy. And throw that out of the way. The inside pad, once again, we're going to leave in place because I'm going to use my disc pad spreader. We slide it into position and then just start turning the knob to spread it until it's pushed all the way back into position. Now, I'm going to show you something, see if the cameraman can follow me up to the top of the car again. And remember earlier we loosened the valve, the cover on the brake disc? There's fluid there. And see, fluid is poured out. Because again, we're pushing that piston in, and when we're pushing the piston in, that brake fluid has to go somewhere. So it's just pouring out. And fortunately for us, we have all these really nice towels here. And so we're not making a big mess. Okay, so now we're going to release the spreader. That comes out of the way. We pop out the old pad, which is on springs. Get rid of that. Once again, as we did for the right side of the car, we're putting on some brake lubricant and disc quieter, which happens to come with this kit. Some disc pad kits make you buy it separately, or they don't give you enough. So beware that you might have to buy some more. And now we're going to attach the inner pad. That's the one with the spring. And it just goes into the hole. Remember, we put some lubricant on those 3 springs on the pad. And then you just kind of push it, force it in, snaps into place, boom, out it's done. Now we got to do the inner pad, and that's the one that comes with the spring. And so move the spring out a little bit, glide that in out. You see these 2 connectors here? These have to slide up on this rail so you can get the right alignment. Try to move my hands out of the way so you can see what's going on. You see how they slide up? Okay, now our springs are in the wrong place. Boom. Excellent example of how this is going wrong. So I'm going to have to take it out again. Now, this part has to go over the top of this. And at the same time, these guides are all the way up. So that's what it's going to look like, alright? So you have the guides in, it's over the little nubs here, And then this is going to come down finally to lock down once we get it on the rails. Okay, we're mounting our rotor because we need a rotor before we can mount the rest of it. And what I'd like to do is put the lugs in, 2 lugs at least, to hold the rotor in place so it's not wobbling around while I'm trying to mount the caliper and trying to bolt everything else into position. So, you know, it's just hand tightened just to keep it in place. Now I'm ready to release my bungee cord. Make sure everything is in position, press down against the pads, and then I'm going to come in here, squeeze it around the rotor, hang it off the rails, make sure it's on the bottom rails, grab my caliper bolts, insert one at the top, drive it home, and hopefully, if the alignment's right, it should catch, and then we'll be able to ratchet these in. And right before we ratchet, we're going to lock that into position and get our ratchet. Okay, so I'm just driving the top caliper bolt in. And I'm going to start driving the bottom one. And once I know they both are in position and they're catching correctly, then I can tighten them home and check torque on those. Okay, so both of the bolts are in. Our guides are on the caliper tracks. The guides up here are all the way in. Remember, our little spring is going over the top of the nubs. Then it goes underneath the caliper itself. So everything's tensioned. So our rotor's in. We're going to take out our bungee mechanism. And then we're going to clean up the brake fluid mess up at the top. Add any fluid that we have to and close the reservoir. And then mount the wheel. Lift the car a little higher, take the safety stands out of the way, lower the car down, and then take it for a test ride. And that's how you do a brake job on a 2004 Ford Focus ZTW.